Welcome back to another episode of Fueling the Flame. I'm your host, Mason Miller, and today we are joined by the men's volleyball team. Today we have Owen and Ben joining us today. Owen is a 6'4" sophomore outside hitter from Aurora, Illinois, attended Aurora West High School, and is second in the team with kills with 100 kills, so I don't know if you knew that. And then Ben is also a sophomore. He's 6'6", plays opposite, is from Middleton, Wisconsin, attended Middleton High School. And his freshman year, he actually won CCIW Defensive Player of the Year, which is really impressive. And second team all-conference, and he's third in the team in kills with 85. So I appreciate you guys joining the show.
Yes, thanks for having us.
Absolutely. So, pretty good start to the year, 8-2 record. Haven't gotten into conference games yet, but you've played a lot of really good teams. Key wins are number 15 against Santa Barbara over in California. You beat number 5 Juniata College, I believe. Number 12 Baldwin Wallace. Number 19 Dominican University, and most recently a dominant performance versus Concordia, Wisconsin. So, just to start off, could you guys talk about, how do you feel about the start of the season, what's going on, and give a little summary of where you guys are at?
Yeah, I feel really good about it. I think Santa Cruz was kind of a wake-up match for us, especially knowing that we know we're a good team, but when you're playing these top-ranked teams, they're going to be good. Going to California and being in someone else's home gym was kind of hard. The fans were wild, but overall, great start to the season, way better than last year, so I'm excited for that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's always hard starting out early against top-ranked teams and being away. So just being able to put all the pieces together is always hard, but we did a pretty good job this year.
I'm sure those challenges at the start will help later in the season when you have those tough games in the tournament.
For sure, yeah.
So you guys did you mentioned that California trip. Usually I know for us, for the basketball team, usually we have a trip and we kind of have some big takeaway about our team that we usually learn about ourselves. So I don't know if you guys had any big takeaways or any learning moments about your team from that trip.
I would say a big learning moment just for our team in general was just that our defense and offense weren't where we thought they were. And it was more our offense connections weren't really there. But at the same time, is another great takeaway that we learned is we persevered. We've been playing Cal Lutheran, we were down most of the time, but we persevered and we played well.
Yeah, for sure.
I think just being able to put both pieces together, offense and defense, in a consecutive match has been a bit of a struggle for us all year this year. I think that was sort of shown early in the year. But it's when we can put both those pieces together, we're the best team in the country.
Did you guys get to do anything fun on that California trip?
Yeah, we did. We did some beach yoga.
Are you serious? Beach yoga?
Yeah, beach yoga was fire. We walked around downtown for a little bit. That was cool. Got some good food.
Were you guys by LA? Where in Cali were you?
San Diego.
San Diego? Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good spot.
Played in the waves. All the California people were looking at us like we were crazy. It's 60 degrees out there. We're out there diving in the waves.
That's crazy. So, you guys were recently ranked number 5 in the AVCA National Volleyball Rankings. There's a lot of things that come with that national recognition. So I'm just wondering how you guys go about handling it. What's the discussions you guys have in the locker room, if you have any, about being ranked and having that recognition?
We don't really talk about being ranked too much. It's more that every team is going to have their chip on their shoulder trying to beat you. A lot of the teams are looking forward to us on their schedule. So no matter what, they're going to play their best volleyball. So that's kind of the thing we mostly talk about. That's it.
Yeah, the rankings don't matter till the end of the year. Really just matters who wins the national championship. So don't play like you are expected to win ever, and just keep going from there.
Yeah, I like that perspective. That's good. So now just kind of about the team and your play style. What would you say your team strengths are, maybe weaknesses, and what people should expect to see when they watch you guys play?
All right, so strengths, I would definitely say, surprisingly, our defense. Our defense has been really good recently. Our communication's off the charts. Also just team chemistry. We're a fun group to watch. You see our bench mob. They're doing kickstands, or they're doing jumping jacks, having fun. But yeah, we play aggressive and fast. A lot of teams will throw up high balls, but no, we're trying to get it to the pin as fast as we can. Bounce balls, look showy.
So what are some things that go into having a good defense? I know you mentioned communication, but what are some of the other things that you guys work on a lot to have such a good defense?
I think just our size overall in the front court, just being able to get hands on a lot of swings and block a bunch of balls helps our backcourt defense. And then Zach Nolan in the backcourt just is a rock back there, making a bunch of digs, controlling the floor. So that's really helpful.
For sure.
Yeah. Overall, just scrappiness. We were not scrappy last year. We were actually really bad at defense, and I think it's just you gotta take it personal. If teams are scoring on you, just gotta take it personal.
Same thing for basketball. Defense is a very personal thing. It travels well. Offense doesn't always travel for basketball, and I'm sure that's probably similar in some aspects for volleyball. But so just for the rest of the season, I know you mentioned the goal is always to win a national championship, and Carthage has done that within the past 5 years. A very successful program. So what are some keys that you guys have locked in on this year for, if we do this, this, and this, we're gonna see ourselves in a good position towards the end of the year. What do you think are some of the keys to having a successful season?
I think it all goes back to just us having a consistent offense where, I mean, we have every guy on the court that can put the ball away when they need to.
Yeah.
So I think just us understanding that and then setting one guy and opening up other opportunities for other guys on the court too is helpful.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I would say just staying consistent. Like, we have a quote on the back of our shirt, something to prove. Like, we missed the tournament by 0.01 or 0.1% last year of the national bid, so we definitely have something to prove, and I think we're starting to prove it right now. That's good.
Good. I'm excited to see where you guys go, for sure. So now kind of more about your personal story and how you guys picked volleyball. I guess, what are some of your earliest memories of volleyball and why you guys end up deciding to pursue volleyball? Because it's kind of a niche sport, at least for guys. Yeah. Like, not every high school has it. I know not even like a lot of the Division I schools have men's volleyball. So I'm kind of curious where you guys ended up, like how you guys ended up picking volleyball.
I started playing in a rec league, like a local gym in middle school. Luckily, my high school had it, so I was able to just start from there, meet a bunch of guys, and just fell in love with the team overall. And then when I realized that I was too slow for basketball, I was like, oh, volleyball's the move now, I guess. So then I switched over, and I've just been loving it ever since.
That's disappointing. We would have loved to have you on the basketball team.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, kind of similar. I didn't even know men's volleyball was a thing until middle school. I got recruited for being tall. Got to high school, didn't even know club volleyball was a thing until my sophomore, junior year, got into club volleyball, and that was really cool. I was actually lucky enough to have my high school coach be my club director too. So
that's cool.
I was fortunate. Yeah. But yeah, nothing beats the vibes of volleyball. Like, on the court, off the court, everyone's having a great time. Like, it's great, like, team chemistry no matter where you go.
I feel like a lot of people say if they had volleyball at their school, they would definitely play. At least for guys, like, I know I would definitely would, as long as they like didn't interfere with my other sports that I was playing. Like, it is a fun sport, like you said.
It's so much fun.
But sand volleyball, I love to get out there in the courts when it's nice and warm out here. So absolutely. Were there any inspirations, like maybe a parent or like maybe an athlete that maybe you looked up to or like helped you throughout your journey to becoming a college athlete?
For me, I didn't really want to become a college athlete until like my last couple of years. Mm-hmm. But after like talking to J-Dub, I would say him. He's really helped me a lot. Him and Matt Slavinsky. He was here a couple of years ago. Big All-American guy. Yeah, really good at volleyball. He's overseas right now. So yeah, I would say him and J-Dub for right now.
At my high school, there was a bunch of guys who went and played college volleyball. We were a pretty good program over at Middleton. So Parker Van Buren, he's at Loyola now. He's sort of just a role model that I wanted to follow in his footsteps. And then Ruben, funny enough, he's 2 years older than me. He went to Middleton. He went Division I to Queens and then transferred here because he wasn't a huge fan of it over there. And we'd love to have him here. But he was also a role model to me and just helped me through my process as well.
For sure. That's awesome. So then for volleyball, what are your favorite parts about volleyball? I know for basketball, there's a lot of things like when you like swish it, or like you break someone's ankles, or I don't dunk on people, but when you dunk on people, like stuff like that get people excited. What are you guys' like favorite parts, plays about volleyball that really get you going?
I think for me, it's just a big block. Like being able to just like go one-on-one against the other team's best player and just like shut them down is just super energizing for you and the whole team. It's just a great time no matter what.
Yeah, I'd say either like a one-handed dig or just going over the top of the block for me. Just like hitting over a kid just feels so good. Like just jumping over and be like, you can't stop it. It's like empowering. It feels good.
Do you guys talk trash? Like between the net, I know you're right there face to face. Do you guys say those stuff?
Usually when the other team starts it, we'll chirp back a little bit. In practice, it's a lot worse. Like if you come watch one of our practices, it's probably not too PG, but it's always a good time and it keeps everyone engaged a lot. So.
Yeah, I would say like we never started, which is like important. I feel like a lot of teams here, there's especially some teams in California that talk a lot.
In Cali, really?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
But it's more just like make sure it stays on our side of the net and make sure like we're not getting carded. We're making sure the refs like us. It's just trying to like take the advantages to our side.
Yeah. I mean, if you're gonna talk, you got to make sure it energizes your team and it doesn't deflate your team.
Exactly.
So you have to pick and choose your battles for when you do it.
It's hard when you talk when you're down.
Yeah,
like sets like that. I'm sure it is.
Some teams find a way somehow.
Oh yeah.
What do you think is the hardest part about volleyball, or some of the more challenging things with volleyball? It could be, just obviously stuff on the court, but or managing stuff off the court. What do you think has been the most challenging part?
I would say the mental game of volleyball. The game's about errors. Like, it's who makes less errors. And that's kind of the hard part about it. It's kind of hard to get out of your own head, especially when you're a starter. Like, if you start hitting bad and people look up to you. little hard to get out of your head, but
Yeah.
we have a great support system right now. Bench, starters, coaches, like fans especially. The fans definitely help out, especially when like they're chirping the team.
Yeah.
They're like screaming at everyone loud. It helps a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, just the fact that it's a mental game and a lot of the stuff is dictated by yourself. I mean, teams are split on their own sides of the net. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, you're with yourself by your own team for the entire game. So errors by your team and by yourself are more sort of exemplified, I think.
Yeah.
So just being able to go back to your team and reset after a miss or a bad point, just being able to reset and get back in and think about the next one is really important.
I think that ability to be able to move on after your mistakes is key for like any sport, but even life. So I mean, that's great stuff. So you mentioned the mental aspect, but are there any other important, just in general, like if you had to pick one skill or trait to be a volleyball player, what do you think like the most important one is? Tough question. Like you're gonna teach your kid how to play volleyball. What's the first thing you're teaching him as a volleyball player?
As an outside, I'm just gonna teach the kid how to rip. Like, hit that ball as hard as you can. Like, you might hit a ball 45 feet out of bounds with the back wall, but just keep ripping because it's gonna find high hands, it's gonna find the floor, and then once you start going, it's kind of hard to stop.
I'm like the opposite. Coming from a right side,
I love that.
I'm just saying I'm teaching them how to pass. Like, I mean, just like starting with the basics, I guess. Just making sure they know everything they need to know, and then move on to the more complicated stuff and all that stuff, aggressive stuff later.
Yeah,
but it's funny coming from a right side because I don't pass. But I'm still teaching them how to pass.
Interesting. Okay, so for you two, you guys are both sophomores. You guys are actually the youngest athletes I've had on the show, which is a good thing. But many people say that your sophomore year is like your biggest jump in your career because that freshman year you're kind of learning everything physically, mentally. The game starts to slow down. I think your second year, you're adjusting to the schedule and managing everything as an athlete. So far, where do you guys feel like you've made the biggest improvement from your freshman year? Because I know you obviously had a great start, and then this year you're starting out and you didn't play as much previously. But what do you think was that biggest jump from your freshman to sophomore year?
I would say the mental game again. Yeah. I mean, it's easy to change, or easier to change physical things, I would think. I mean, it just takes a lot of reps and a lot of work in the gym.
Yeah.
But the mental game is something you really have to lock in on and focus on, and it can be on or off the court too. Just managing your stress levels on the court and off the court.
Yeah.
And I think that being able to help others on the court when they make a mistake and just get them back into the game right away in the next point.
Yeah.
Is something that I think I've improved on over the year.
Absolutely.
Just helping the team out and doing whatever I can to help us stay locked in for the next point and keep vibing.
Taking on more of that leadership role as you get older, yeah, for sure.
I would definitely say the mental game and just control what you can control. I know last year was hard for me because I was like on the court and then I get injured and then school, so it was a lot of stuff. But this year's been a big it's like steady increase. Like I've learned good leadership skills. Being on the court just helped me in general. Also just like it helps you help other people who've been in your position. Like being a freshman, it's hard, obviously, new environment, being in college, and just like trying to be the best player you can be as long as like trying to get on that court. But like I said, just a mental game. It's about errors. You're gonna make mistakes, but as long as you can like overcome them, you'll be okay.
I think you guys hit it right on the mark because I remember my freshman year, you're riding that wave.
Yeah.
You have a really good practice, really good game or whatever. You're like on Mount Everest, but if you have one bad practice and you're just like at the bottom, you're like, oh my god. But having those older guys around you can pick you up. It's huge. And I look back at my freshman year like, dude, I really let the silliest things like piss me off in practice. I'm like, okay. But now that you get older, it doesn't bother you as much, and you're able to kind of remain steady throughout your season. So that's good stuff.
Yeah, sure.
So as a basketball player, I'm looking at the volleyball team. You guys have 6'4", 6'5", 6'6", 6'6", 6'7", jump out of the gym, long, athletic, and I'm thinking, where do you guys find all these recruits, all these kids who are just massive? You see them, that's a basketball player. I'm just curious, where do you guys find all these guys? Because I'm just watching like, are you serious right now?
Well, what's funny is that for our class, 4 of us, 5 of us are all from the same club team. He's the only one in our class that isn't from the Milwaukee Volleyball Club. So we're all from, I'm from Madison, the Madison area, but they're all from the Milwaukee area. And then other than that, J-Dub just does a great job doing his thing, recruiting. It's nice when you win 2 national championships back to back. You have a lot of eyes on you, especially even at the D3 level. Kids see that, kids come and they want to win. So I think that's just the biggest thing is that we have people that want to win here.
Sure.
Yeah, you gotta give it to J-Dub. Like, he always is, like, traveling for, like, the national championships. He's always going to, like, the Natties in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
He travels all around Wisconsin, Illinois, trying to, get, like, be at the point series and just trying to, like, recruit kids. I would say, as individuals and athletes here, though, we also do a good job with recruits. Like, when they come, make sure they have a good time, make sure they feel welcome, talk to their parents, like, introduce ourselves whenever we can. So I think we also do a good job, like, pointing recruits. Like, he'll get them, but, like, we'll make sure they stay.
Absolutely, absolutely. So do you guys have any hoopers on your team? I'm just curious because you guys get the size. I know you mentioned you kind of had to give it up, but do you guys have any guys like legit?
We always play. What's funny is that we always play lightning before serve and pass.
Yeah, I see that. I see that sometimes.
Who usually wins that? Otto. Owen wins it a lot. Ryan Morey wins it sometimes. I would say that those are the two that I would say are the best shooters. At least it's hard to tell who's like actually fundamentally good at basketball, but those guys are the ones that we always get happy when they get out in lightning because it's someone else's day to win.
Yeah. I hear. Give me Ben Heiss. Big fundamentals guy. He's always in the triple threat.
Pivot, drop step.
He's got the fundamentals.
Oh, he's there.
Post work down.
Yeah, there's guys who are just athletic. Like they'll scope and dunk the ball. You have Ryan Cholinsky. Can't shoot. Probably the worst shooting forward I've ever seen. But he'll dunk a ball. So there's always a mix and match. I would say Otto and Ryan Morey. Like they can pretty much do it.
Okay, I hear you.
Cholo's so funny. Coming out ice cold, like no warm-ups, just comes in and he airballs his first 3 pointers, just goes to dunk the next one. I'm like, this kid is just wild.
That's awesome. The next thing I actually wanted to talk about was just because volleyball is such a jumping intensive sport, and you have guys who can jump really high, and that's a big part of being a successful volleyball player. I know for a basketball player, like knee pain is huge.
Yeah.
Like even just like we don't jump as much, I guess, but just being on the court and you do jump as a basketball player. But the amount of times that you guys jump, practice and games, like does that become an issue with like managing your health? Because I imagine that's got to be a big thing just for how it is for basketball.
Yeah. It's a lot of like rehab work. This year especially, just like learn how to stretch, like stretching before practice, after practice, like 3 to 4 times a day. Make sure like your body's loose and ready to go. It's a lot of intense on the knees. I know. Vert has some knee problems.
They're cooked.
A lot of the team, me and Otto especially, had back problems.
Really?
Like when you're rotating back, like sometimes your SI joint gets a little messed up. So like learn how to stretch. Greg, our strength and conditioning coach, he's helped us a lot. He's given us workouts. He's given us like stretches.
Yeah.
So I'll definitely give credit to him.
Yeah, I mean knees and back are the 2 things that I would say just are always cooked for volleyball players. Probably like 75% of the team has something wrong with one of those 2 things or both.
Yeah.
And I think it's also important that the older guys who have those issues relay that information to the younger guys. I know as a freshman my knees weren't as bad as they are now. It's only been a year. But I was leaving practice without stretching, no ice bath, nothing like that. And now I definitely wish I had last year. So I guess I wish somebody would have told me, your body's going to be feeling it a lot more than you do this year. You'll be feeling it for the next 3 years.
Are you a big proponent of the ice bath?
Oh, I'm a big ice bath guy. Yeah, we usually have a group of 4 or 5 guys going to the ice bath after every practice. So it's good for the body. Yeah.
I don't mind it. I can do it. I've done it multiple times, but I feel like it makes my muscles tighter. I don't know if it's just me, but
I can't do it.
The next day I'm like, oh, dude, I'm like tight.
No, I'm a wimp. I can't do it. I think I got in there for the first 5 minutes. I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
They recommend like 10 minutes, 12 minutes?
Yeah, like 8
no
to 10, I think.
There's just no way.
All right. I kind of want to transition now to Coach JW. We've talked about it a little bit.
Yeah,
obviously, he has that national championship culture and pedigree that you mentioned before, and that was one of the things that attracted you to Carthage and their program. Winning it in 2021 and 2022, and he recently reached 100 career wins, which is insane. It's amazing to see how, as such a young coach in his career, he's already accomplished so many things. So, from your perspective, what do you think makes JW special and such an impactful coach?
I think he sees our potential really well.
Yeah.
And he does whatever it takes to help us get there. I mean, I'm sure a lot of the other student athletes have seen him yell at us and done his things. He's hard on us, but
it's out of love.
Exactly. It's out of love, and it's out of the fact that he knows where we can be, and he knows that we're a national championship caliber team.
Yeah.
And he's the one person I've met in my life that wants to win no matter what. He is the biggest winner I've ever met in my life. So just, I guess, going in knowing that and knowing that nothing that he says to you is personal. It's just he's going to do what it takes to win, and he's going to do what it takes to help you play your best. So I think that's the biggest part.
Yeah. He's passionate. Like, he loves the game. He's always involved in the game. He's always watching volleyball. You can go into, like, his office at any point. He's going to be watching volleyball.
Wow.
I have to give him the credit where credit's due. He's really good at deciphering on the court volleyball versus off the court volleyball. So he's really good at, like, he's going to be hard on you on the court. Like, if you, like, make a stupid mistake, he's going to let you know that was stupid. But off the court, he's a great dude. Like, he's a guy that you can go to if, like, you need help with anything. So I think that's a big thing for him. He, like, makes connections on and off the court.
That's a good point, because I see you guys' practices when I'm waiting for basketball or after we're done. And honestly, it seems like he's just another one of the guys, but he still maintains that respect as a coach. And it's a unique relationship that I think is really cool, because I like look at your like social media, and you did like the Super Bowl thing, and he's right there in those videos, like, interacting with the guys. I think it's hilarious. I think it's awesome. So I definitely think JW is an amazing coach. But do you guys have any stories, or like with JW, maybe like the first time that he got chewed out by JW, or anything that you'd like to share with that you think is appropriate to share with everybody?
I'm trying to think back.
I think my favorite moments are like when me or Otto have like a wide open net and we overturn line and hit out of bounds, and you'll see him like walk off the court, or like he'll throw his clipboard, or like he'll come up paper, and then he comes back, he's like, yeah, you know, I really like that line swing, maybe you can like put it in bounds next time. So like it's like a good humor thing. Like, he knows when to get on us, but he also knows, like, if we're having a rough day, like, to keep it light, but also know, like, hey, you still gotta get this done.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think it's funny. In practice, he can yell. In practice, he can throw stuff. But in games, it's funny to watch him diffuse his anger and disappointment. Because he'll just like walk down and back, start pacing. He'll go grab some water, and then he'll come back and just be like, "All right, let's try to do it better, guys." It's just funny to watch when he does that.
That's awesome. Does he have any cliche sayings? I know.
We were just talking about this today because we were watching the post-match interview.
Yeah.
And he loves saying elite. That's his favorite word. He'll say like everything on the court is elite. I think we counted. How many do we tally? Like 6 or 7 elites in like a 10-minute interview.
It was a 12-minute interview. He said elite 8 times, and he's like, yeah, our ball handling is elite. Like, Owen Otto's line defense and him swinging 4-4 is elite. So we'll always make fun of him for it. Like, I don't know if he knows, but he'll know now. But we're always like, okay, every time he says elite, it's just like, okay, that's elite.
Yeah. So now we coin the phrase sometimes when we're practicing or something. We'll be like, Otto will get a kill or an ace, so we'll be like, Otto, that serve was elite. That was super cool what you just did there.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. All right. I think it's time for the special segment.
Oh, yeah.
You want to do a special segment?
Excited.
So this is kind of similar to a most likely to. So like, who's most likely to do X, Y, and Z, but they're not always like specifically most likely to. So I just have a list of questions, and you have to pick one teammate to answer each question.
All right.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
I'm locked in.
Okay. First question: what teammate will be the best pregame motivational speaker to get the boys going and hyped for the game?
Cholo. It's gotta be Cholo.
Cholo?
I would agree. Yeah.
If you see him when we're getting hyped right before we go to warm up,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that he's getting into it. He'll flick the lights on and off. He'll be dancing, screaming, banging on lockers. He'll actually run into our locker room, and so there's a door to get in, and then there's a second door, and he like drop kicks it every time.
He starts just beating on the door, just punching it, kicking it, and then it makes so much noise. We're just like trying to sit down, like, remember the scout, like, what does this team like to do? He's just there beating the crap out of the door.
He's got a second year. He's got a second year.
Oh yeah,
That's awesome.
That's hilarious.
Okay, what teammate? This might be a tough one for you guys. I feel like you got a lot of funny guys on the team. But what teammate is most likely to be a stand-up comedian?
That's a good one.
Oh jeez.
You can list a couple if you can't pin down one.
As much as I would like to say Otto, there's no way Otto's getting up on stage and talking to people. Like, that dude's the most quiet person I've ever met. But he's hilarious. Like, once you get to know him, he's hilarious.
Is that like Kawhi Leonard?
Yeah. He's awkward. Like, you get him in an interview here, he'd be awkward. He'd probably like stare at you for a little bit. But, again, he's a great dude. There's so many.
Yeah, I mean, Michael Yam, he just loves talking. I think he'd be good in front of a crowd too. He'd do some nice crowd work, I would think.
The last one I say would be, you gotta give it to Justin Ishii. Like,
Okay.
That dude, he's funny. Like, I give it to him, like, sometimes he'll repeat his jokes, but he's funny. Like, no matter what, he's gonna make you laugh. Whether it's, like, the stupidest thing he's ever said in his life.
It usually is.
What are you saying to me right now? But yeah, he's a funny dude, and I gotta give it to him.
It's also nice to hear that on the court, too. Like, if you're super locked into a game, Justin Ishii will just come up to you and say, probably the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. And I'm like, you know what? Like, there's I just need to chill out right now. Like this kid's vibing. I should vibe out with him too.
I love it. Okay, if you were stranded on an island, what teammate would you want to bring with you? Who's gonna get you out of there? Who's a little tactical, got that survival skills in them?
I would say Joe Kolwitz. He's just a smart guy, always mathematical, I guess. I don't know. Just always thinking about the next steps.
Strategic guy. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say Joe Kolwitz. He's going into pre-med, so like, let's say like I get injured somehow. I'm going for a coconut, I get injured. He's gonna help me. He's gonna put a splint on it. So
you said if you get hit by a coconut.
If I climb a tree and I fall off the tree somehow, you never know. You never know what's gonna happen on the island. So yeah, I'm saying Joe Kolwitz.
Yeah.
Okay, I like it. What teammate would you never trust to keep a secret?
Oh boy.
Who's the yapper? Probably says too much that they probably shouldn't say.
Gotta be Ishii.
Yeah, I would say Justin Ishii again. He just loves talking. He loves making people laugh.
Yeah, I will say though, I think everyone is good on the team though for keeping secret.
Yeah,
okay,
for sure.
Good.
Ishii's just the type of guy who just yap about everything.
Okay.
We love him though.
Sign of a good team. Okay. Who has the worst diet on the team?
Otto.
Ooh,
No hesitation.
Austin and Zach Nolan too. They have some pretty bland plates that they have.
I was gonna say, what does their plates consist of for the
pizza, butter noodles, garlic bread.
Nothing with flavor. So if it's like spicy or like anything with like seasoning, no. Like buffalo chicken mac, they will not get it. It's like one of the best things at the cafe. They just will not get it.
And yeah, anything beige colored, it's probably gonna end up on their plate. They're adding salt to it.
I gotta say Otto though, because even last year, Otto would bring like 4 bags of candy to every way match. He'd bring his like cotton candy Skittle flavor.
Yeah.
It was gross. And this kid like
nasty.
Like no like vegetables. Like he's gotten better though. I'll give him that. He's gotten way better.
Has he tried to put you onto that cotton candy stuff?
Yes. We tried. It was actually pretty good.
It was yeah, we clowned him until we realized it's actually
pretty good.
I don't know if I want it an hour before a match, but it was pretty good.
Yeah, whatever gets him going.
Yeah,
don't bash it till you try it, I guess.
There you go.
Who's most likely to be TikTok famous? If somebody's already TikTok famous, I'm not sure, but
I'm gonna get with Josiah.
I was gonna say that
Josiah,
too. Really? Okay.
Yeah, all credit to like kid's a model. Like great dude. Like you gotta give credit where credit's due. He's also just a great dude, very caring, like loves everybody. He's always there if you need him.
Yeah,
so like
I was gonna say Josiah or Cholo too.
And he can bust a move. I've seen him bust a move or two.
Oh yeah,
Right?
oh yeah.
I was gonna say, what do you think their TikTok content would be?
Ooh.
Like dancing and just doing like the standard.
I think Josiah would be like those the thirst trap TikToks. I gotta chill for just making like stupid funny TikToks where you're looking at it, you're like, wow, this kid's a golden retriever energy.
Yeah.
Okay, who's most likely to become a secret agent, like James Bond, like Mission Impossible, just randomly after they graduate, they just disappear, become a secret agent, just doing like crazy, like badass stuff?
I'll do Eric Stover for this one.
That's a good one.
He's just
That's a
like,
good one.
I don't know. He just like brings like that quiet, sarcastic energy, and I feel like I don't know why I just feel like secret agents have that. You know, they can just fit into any crowd. Yeah. Just a chill guy, a viber. Just gotta love him.
He'll make a funny joke and he'll stare at you with a straight face. You know? What is happening? Yeah, he's a great dude though. Great vibes guy.
Who's most likely to sleep in and be late for practice?
Oh, who do we? Oh,
it's gotta be Justin Ishii.
No, I don't know. I would say Adrian.
Oh,
Adrian. I mean, he almost missed the bus last
true,
away game. I would say Adrian or Kyle Stursel too. They have a bit of a history of being late to stuff and stuff. So always gotta make sure to check on them. Make sure they've left their room before you leave, because they might still be in there sleeping.
They need a wake up call.
Oh
yeah, you gotta pound the door sometimes or give them like 3 or 4 calls.
Yeah, but they're chill. They're chill guys.
I hear you. Okay. Who are you most likely to call on? You need someone to ace your final exam. Who are you calling on to take it for you? I'm not saying this is actually gonna happen, but if you had to pick someone to come in, ace your exam, who you calling on?
Yeah, give me Devin or Joe Kolwitz. Both are insanely smart people.
Okay.
Like Joe's over here, 4.0. He won an award last year. I forgot what it was, but he had like the highest
some
GPA.
academic award. Yeah.
Atta boy.
The kid's a genius. So
putting the student.
I would love him to take my exams.
Okay.
Make my life easy.
Yeah, they're always saying big words that I don't understand, and I'm like, all right, they're just too smart for me. I'm just gonna leave at this point.
Okay, little controversial? Who's most likely to get into a fight?
Huh. I feel like our whole team's like honestly kind of timid. Like, let's see.
JW.
Yeah.
That wouldn't surprise me, honestly.
Give me Michael Yem on the practice volleyball court.
I
That
like
kid
that
knows how to
answer.
talk. Like, he's going to chirp you. He's going to swing 45 feet out of bounds. It's going to barely hit one of your fingers. And he's going to let you know. Like, he's going to be like, especially like with me or Bird, like being like taller people, he'll tool us and be like, "Oh, you guys suck!" Like, and it's like the funniest thing after practice. You're like, you hate him during practice, but you love him.
I feel like it gets you going. You have a practice guy talking trash. It just gives you that fuel during practice to compete.
Thankfully, he's on our team.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so happy that kid's on our team. We're not on a different team.
Yeah.
That'd be brutal.
If I heard him talking to me in the game, I'd be so pissed off. That'd definitely get in my head. So it is nice that he's on our side.
Okay, 2 more questions. Most likely to become a bodybuilder.
Ruben Emmerich.
Yeah.
The kid's rips right now. He's big muscle guy. Our assistant coach, Bush, he's always saying that kid eats dumbbells. Like, that kid lifts. I know he's struggling with some back injuries right now, but he's always in the gym trying to get like either reps or especially like lifting. Like, that kid moves weight. Him and Josiah both move weight. Like, they'll have like 275 on bench, sometimes 315, and you're like,
Jesus.
Okay, they're moving it like I move 135. Like, there's no problem.
Yeah, like, I'm moving over to this other squat rack. I can't be in these guys' vicinity. It just makes me feel bad about myself.
Yep.
So it's always fun to watch them just move weight, just be crazy dogs out there.
I hear you. Last question. If your coaches randomly disappeared off the face of the earth, what teammate are you entrusting to be the interim head coach for the rest of the season?
Ooh. I'm going to say Joe Kolitz again.
Okay.
In my personal experience with him, he's a great leader. He's also just a great dude. Like, freshman year, I talked to him a lot, just about everything. Like, I go to his dorm after, and we just talk about everything. So I have to give it to him. He knows, he knows the difference between volleyball and outside of volleyball.
Yeah.
Like, he knows how to have fun. He knows how to, like, get you going, make sure you feel good. But in volleyball, he's also going to make sure you put in the work. Like, and accountability is a big thing for him. Like, we have, before practice, or, like, during practice, we'll do out-of-system setting. And if you set a ball off the net, you're supposed to do a push-up. And he makes sure people do push-ups. He does push-ups. Like, he goes up to, like, the maximum peak you can.
I like that.
I would agree. I would say Joe Kolowitz, too. I feel like he'd run a tight ship, but a loose enough ship where we can still have fun and vibe out with the guys. Just like, kind of like the ship JW runs, you know.
Yeah.
Has that strong connection with us where he can joke around, but he also knows when we need to get serious and start working on stuff.
Yeah, for sure. It's a good answer. It's always good to have those guys that keep you accountable, and I think within athletics, you always have teammates that can push you, hold you accountable, and things that are important. That it's like a brotherhood, you know. You come in, you're like, you don't know anybody, but you have this team that you can rely on, and it's always good. I know that's what we have for basketball, and I'm sure volleyball. It sounds like you guys have a great team and culture, and it's fun to watch you guys. So I appreciate you guys coming on. That's all I got for this episode.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. Who do you guys got next?
Benedictine on Friday.
Is that at home?
Yeah.
Okay,
7
Benedictine.
o'clock.
All right. Good luck to you guys. Good luck to the rest of the season. Can't wait to see where this season goes. Hopefully you guys can get back to the national tournament and compete for those titles that you guys have been known for. So
thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So stay tuned for future episodes. Thank you for listening to Fueling the Flame, and we'll see you next time. Peace.